What if I told you that there are 5 temptations that every CEO, founder, or leader faces that are subtle, they're powerful, and they tend to show up at the most critical times when the pressure is on? My name is Al Abdullah. I work with the Table Group. We help leaders and their teams to build the ultimate competitive advantage, which is a healthy organization filled with leaders that are aligned and focused and committed to execution and collective results. And our founder, Patrick Lencioni, wrote a book, one of his early bestsellers, called The 5 Temptations of a CEO. And the most recent Netflix special about the 2004 Boston Red Sox winning the World Series, I lived there for 8 years, I'm committed, I highly recommend it, is the perfect illustration of how these temptations show up and how they can be faced. In 2004, Theo Epstein became the Red Sox youngest general manager at just 28 years old. Epstein was charged with the task to end the Red Sox 86-year-long World Series drought. This wasn't just about building a stronger roster. It was about breaking a legendary curse, the curse of the Bambino, which was believed to be the result of the Red Sox trading Babe Ruth to the Yankees back in the Moses era. And ever since then, they were World Series winless. And it was also about battling intense public scrutiny and reshaping an entire organization from the ground up. At that pivotal moment, Epstein faced what Lencioni likes to call the 5 temptations of a CEO. And these are the challenges that every leader encounters when making high-stakes decisions. Will I put my own status over results? Will I choose to be popular and go with the popular opinion rather than holding others accountable, etc.? So we'll work through these 5 temptations one by one and how Theo Epstein faced them. Number 1, status over results. Would Theo Epstein choose to make a name for himself and public recognition? Would he choose his own reputation over the team's legacy? He didn't choose that. He said, on day one, I am here for a single reason, that is to win a World Series. Prior to this time, the previous owners did not prioritize the most effective team. They essentially ran a boys club or a social club. You can watch it on the 3-part documentary. And Epstein turned that around on day one and said, I'm committing to ending this curse and bringing back a World Series. Number 2, popularity over accountability. Theo Epstein was faced with some really difficult decisions right from the start. The Red Sox had a popular star named Nomar Garciaparra. And at that time, Nomar was becoming a disgruntled player. Some of his defensive play was costing the team, and it was costing the team in terms of the team chemistry because Nomar was refusing at times to play. And so he was not being an ideal team player. He was actually becoming a misfit to the culture that they were building. And so Epstein was faced with a choice to enter into a PR nightmare and to choose accountability and stronger defense and culture, and ultimately traded Nomar Garciaparra. The 3rd temptation that Epstein faced was choosing clarity over certainty. A lot of times as leaders, we want to be 100% certain that the decision that we're about to make, let's say trading a particular player, is the right decision. When actually what we need to do is just take the information that we currently have, make a decision, and then make the decision right. The 4th temptation that Epstein faced was to choose harmony over conflict. Instead, he chose to have the difficult conversations, which is a hallmark of a responsibility-based leader. Continuously, he would enter the clubhouse, having difficult conversations with strong egos and strong personalities, and have difficult conversations with the owners as well, so that they could make the decisions that they needed to make and continue to build a strong culture. And lastly, he chose vulnerability, trust over invulnerability. Epstein chose to highlight his own shortcomings and his lack of experience and his young age, and he moved into talking about what he didn't know and the things that he was uncertain of, and he allowed other people to really boost his own areas of weakness. These are the 5 temptations that every CEO or leader faces. And I'm wondering for you, which of these would be potentially holding you back, and what could be possible if you were to break through them? There's one final thing that I see that Theo Epstein had in his corner, and that was a voice, an outside voice to encourage him and to coach him. It was his dad. His dad continuously encouraged him to stay bold and reminded him of who he was. And maybe that's what you need today. Maybe you need to seek an outside voice to remind you of who you are and where you need to step into your boldness.